How you going, James?
Good, bro. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
Very good.
Good.
Friday.
Busy morning.
It's happening, yeah, Friday. That's why I'm casual, blacked out today.
Very nice.
Friday's normally busy.
Friday, depending on what type of area of law you're in, Friday can be like a super easy day where you've done everything, got everything out of the way, or Friday can be like a shit show, right? Everybody's like, I need this done by the weekend, like hurry up, like we've got this next week, I've got my trial on Monday, you know, like I haven't given my lawyer everything, blah, 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 blah. Depends. Our Fridays lately have been terrible. So, well, not terrible in a bad way, but just like
Full on.
clusterfuck. Really well.
Do you work most weekends or?
Try not to. Try to do like the macadamia stuff on the
Yeah.
weekends. Try to get that done. Try to train as much as I can on the weekends, because like an hour on a Tuesday's not really equal to an hour on a Sunday. You know, like if you've got staff like trying to hit you up, if you're like, oh, I'm going to go do a workout, like it's more valuable. Your time's more valuable on the weekday, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't think I'm work. Oh no, I'm work. I've got a couple of meetings tomorrow morning, and then try to get down to the farm, get some stuff done.
Yeah, cool. Where's the farm?
Olsenville.
Oh,
Lovely part of the world down there.
It is. It's nice, man. It's relaxing. We've got like 2,500 trees down there. We're going through the process of I want to sell the nuts direct to consumer, because there's like the price difference that we get to sell wholesale to selling it to direct to consumer. There's definitely like I'm happy to do that work to get that margin. Like it's like we get like $6.50 a kilo. And they're not doing much work, and they're selling it like wholesale for 30 and then retail for like $80-90 a kilo. So
yeah. We've got one of our friends who's like, his pipe dream is to start a macadamia farm.
Oh,
like, because
really?
he sees like they're like the most profitable nuts, like one of the most profitable exports.
Is it any truth to that?
Yeah,
Shout out to
mate,
Sean.
GDP, shout out to Sean. Come work for me.
You probably would be.
Fucking you would for sure.
Mate, total GDP of macadamias was 110 mil in 2011, and they're projecting it to be like 440 mil next year.
Holy dogs.
So massive. I mean, like COVID kind of like sparked a resurgence in macadamia nuts farms, because everybody from Sydney was like, how do we get out of Sydney? But how do we also buy something that's going to make us money, but that we're also going to enjoy? And they're like, oh, why not a macadamia farm in the Northern Rivers? We love Byron. Why not get something that'll make money back on it? So our brand's called MACAMONDS, macadamias by the diamonds. And we're going to do... I mean, fuck it, whatever. If someone's going to steal the idea, we haven't released it or anything like that. We're going to do like little tins.
Yeah.
So we're going to do like tins, like 100-gram tins, like peelable tops. And then we're going to do like a big 500-gram tin, kind of like a Milo tin, where you can like refresh it. Like what do you call it?
Refill
like reseal it.
Yeah.
And then also one of the things that we want to do is have like a discounted rate of bringing your tin back and filling it at the farm.
Oh, cool.
Kind of thing. So kind of like eco and save people money and stuff.
Gets like the local people involved as well. So they all get on board.
Yeah, it's kind of like that old school like milk thing. Keep your milk jugs and go fill them back up, kind of thing.
Cool.
But also, we're getting it DA'd for wedding venues too down there too.
Yeah, cool.
Lovely.
Those wedding venues making like so much money.
Bro, people spend so much money on weddings because they think they're going to do it once.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, bro, you're statistically probably going to do this 4 or 5 times. So, like, do you want me to sign up for like a group discount or something, you know, now? Like,
Get your second one half price.
Yeah,
10-year package.
Yeah.
Do your wedding here or do you divorce half price?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you can do all the paperwork for the divorce.
Yeah, mate, people get married so quickly nowadays and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? I saw a meme the other day. It was like, people give me shit for being single at like 32, but statistically I've avoided my first divorce. So who's losing? And man, divorces are so expensive and nobody wins. And like, it's just so emotive.
Grim.
Like, oh, the worst.
Crazy. We skipped straight over the icebreakers. We got straight into it, but
Yeah,
Who's got this?
Mine was just, what was a food you hated as a kid that you now actually like really like?
Or eggs. I used to hate eggs.
One of those little kids.
Yeah, I used to
The
fucking
silky
hate
little
them. They're
kids.
disgusting. They just smelt like someone farted.
Sounds like you still hate them.
I love them. Nah, boiled eggs, I do.
Oh, boiled eggs.
Boiled eggs, I hate them.
Get that one weird fucking kid at school that would bring him hard.
Daniel.
No way.
Boiled eggs are so versatile.
Nah.
I hate on boiled eggs, bro.
Yeah.
Just hit 20 on a Sunday. They last all through the week.
All the kids in my footy
Protein
team,
plan.
they used to do like the deviled eggs. They'd cut them in half and like put like the curry powder in it and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
I've heard
like
that.
Where'd you grow up?
Believable. Terra 9. But no. Might be tomato. I just hated tomato. Didn't like that texture of it, like that real slimy gel stuff. But now I have it on everything.
It is.
Used to do like full take it off the burger, like too scared to ask and not have tomato. So I'd get it and then take it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That and pickles.
Yeah.
I'm at the
Pickles are
point, I didn't like pickles, and then I'm at the point now, I went to grill the other day, I got like the pickle burger, which is literally just full of pickles, which is
Yeah,
weird.
it is. Mine was capsicum. I used to like not be able to do it at all, and now I fucking chuck it in everything. It's that good.
James got one?
I feel like every kid's got like, you go tomato, olives, sardines, shit like that. You kind of like grow
Yeah.
into, but I wouldn't say like specifically. I never really hated any. I'm more the opposite way, man. Like, dude, I used to have like, I still to this day like it, and it's like, you guys are gonna like call the cops on me for this, but like I used to have crunchy peanut butter on toast with butter and then mayonnaise on it.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's like dangerous. Hey, it's like weird, bro. I'm unsettled even saying it. But yeah, I still like it, bro. And like, dude, I used to eat like just spoonfuls of butter. Just like grab a tablespoon and just like.
I used to do that when I was really little.
Yeah.
And then I got to like 5 or 6.
I'm
I was
talking
like,
like
what am I doing?
17.
Were you a big kid? Just eating butter out of the tub?
Bro, when I was born, I was £9.10 and like 58 centimeters. So I kind of like have always been a little bit thick, and never really got rid of it. So, but I'm like one of those guys that like, I'll like have like salads for 4 days and then just like
Big spoonful of butter.
yeah, like butter and like dude, I finished the whole I think they're like 500ml thing of Nutella last night, just like one sitting.
By the spoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel disgusting. I can feel like the sugar like behind my eyes and shit. My skin's all like gross.
I was like,
Yeah.
but I used to do it with the ice cream, just like the whole connoisseur tub. Just sit down and just plow it.
And then like sit there and pay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even halfway finished. Like, I can keep going.
Even recently, like I'd bake stuff and then like I'd offer it to people and they wouldn't really have it. So I'd just like smack like half a cheesecake or like half a thing of caramel slice.
Yeah,
With the shakes.
Yeah, I listened to Eddie's. He said his favorite dessert was cheesecake, or something on that's the episode that I listened to. Dude, I used to have, when I was bulking in uni, I used to have a third of a French cheesecake before breakfast, after breakfast, lunch and dinner, like a cheesecake.
That sounds that good.
Yeah, well, I got to like 106
Quality
kilos.
bulk.
Yeah, such a dirty, disgusting bulk. But I got like my bench like 155 for 2.
Yeah, remember when I tried bulking up, I'd just have like whatever I was having, my big piece of protein, then like a family pack of like the continental rice, and like half a pack of like the chips, like the half a kilo chips.
Holy
I'd have to have 2 plates. Like I'd have to sit down with 2 plates at dinner.
It's a lifestyle.
Fuck that.
It's that good.
My icebreaker was, what's the worst haircut you've ever been given?
Oh, bro. I had this one in Bali when I was like 14. Well, I guess it's like not like a worse haircut. It was just like I had like my hair long, like a bit longer than yours, and I was just like, I just wanted to trim, and he just straight up buzz cut it. Just like hit me, and I freaked out, and he was like, oh, you need like a fresh start, like in like broken English. I couldn't speak Indo at the time either, so I was like, dude. So there, I had a bowl cut.
Fuck it. At 14, you would have been rattled.
That's
Dude,
like
it
mine.
was my whole life for like 2 years, like, you know, because I had like, it took me for like 3 years to grow my hair out. And I was
That'd be
like,
that scary. Like you expect something, he just goes bang. As soon as it hit your head, you're like, wow, he wasn't going to put any other attachment on that. He's just gone in.
I should have just. I knew it was coming too.
Yeah,
like
you could see it. Get it
I was
prepared.
like, but like 14.
Yeah,
being,
you're
like,
not
too
going to speak
nervous
up to
say
him.
something.
Yeah.
No.
Mum was away and my miss cut my hair. She still does. But when I was younger, I was probably like 11, 12. And Dad gave me a haircut. And he grabs my fringe and just starts going straight across. Got halfway and went, stop, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm cutting it. And I was like, nah. So I went to school and footy training, up footy photos with half a fringe like this, and down like that, and I went, holy
Dude, you got to
shit.
edit some photos of that into this.
I will.
Do you have any?
I'll find it. Yeah, I should do. Big footy photo in my jersey like this, half a fringe.
Jesus. I got
you go.
mine. I forget where it was. I don't know, because I used to I had tried it once by myself to have a crack, and it turned out terrible. Because I was watching heaps of YouTube videos of like how to cut your hair by yourself, like how to do a fade by yourself, and I was like, oh fuck. It was in high school, and then I completely butchered it.
That didn't even look that bad.
Oh,
Everyone just picked on you because they knew you did it yourself.
Yeah.
it was a good one, but that one's probably the worst.
Kids, if you could have a dope haircut, and if you show any like emotion behind it, like you don't like it or anything, boom,
ripped.
That
was
like 3
proper
months.
anxiety as well at high school. Like I was scared to get a haircut because like people are literally gonna, no matter how good it is, they're gonna rip in.
That was probably my worst one. Like when I started year 7, we moved into a new place, and my new next door neighbour was a hairdresser. So my mum was just like, "Oh, we'll just go to her." And she's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "It's all good. Just don't give me a straight fringe." And she fucking. And then we had school photos like a week later. I was already a bit chubby, this little fucking kid with a little bowl cut. Yeah, heaps good for making friends when you start high school.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mum.
Classic.
Fucking dog. What's your icebreaker? Dan?
My icebreaker is: do you prefer cooking meals or the cleanup?
Oh, 100% cooking.
Cooking, yeah.
What do you mean, bro?
Some people don't like cooking.
Would prefer cleaning up, bro. Over cooking. Oh yeah, actually.
What? Well, I'm cooker. I would rather cook.
Pressure of like cooking and stuff. Like actually, yeah.
I hate cooking for big groups.
Yeah.
And you try something new and you're freaking out the whole
That's
time.
the worst thing. You never know what ratio to do.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, I know how to cook it for like 1 or 2, but like when someone's like, oh, it's 5 people.
Cooking for one is like such a G up too. Like it's just cheaper just to eat
It is.
out.
It would be
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah, you end up spending like $10 a meal because you have to buy like a single steak.
Yeah.
500 grams jarred
Yeah.
garlic.
Yeah, mum just used to, you can't really just hit the crock pot for like 3 days and you just, like for yourself.
10 containers of
Yeah.
chicken corn soup.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, bro. I'd actually go. I'd rather clean up rather than cook a new meal for people. But I'd rather cook a meal that I can do.
Yeah, that's
people
true.
rather than clean up.
I just a real messy cooker, so I just use lots of things. Like lots of people do like, the
you're one of those
one
fucking
pan,
people.
do it. Well, I'm like, I'll cook something in this, something in that.
6 chopping boards. Fucking
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's
yeah.
So that's why I don't like cleaning.
Blake uses the same chopping board for the raw chicken and the salad.
I just flip it. Flip it back.
same knife.
Quick rinse.
Did you guys watch me cook dinner last night?
we hosted 2 of our friends for dinner. They host us and then we host them and then we go out. We kind of make it a thing of it on Wednesday nights, and we made focaccia from scratch, caprese salad, and like a vodka pasta. And bro, like I've never been more stressed. Just being like, "Where's the fucking bread? It's not allowed." Fuck. And I didn't do anything, man. Like Layla did like everything. I just was stressed. I'm like, "Are you sure? Is this right? Is that enough rosemary?" Fuck. God.
You're sitting there eating it with him.
Is it good?
How is it?
Yeah.
You sweet? Is it sweet? Is it sweet? Oh, I think it's all good. You think it's all good?
I was like, this is trash. I was like, fuck, I'm so sorry, guys. It sucks.
No, nothing worse than when you cook something with someone and like they say they're full, but you don't know if they're full. They could just be they could just think it's shit.
Yeah. Oh, bro, it's so obvious if they're just like, oh no, that's like enough for me, and I'm like, you hated it.
You had 2 fucking
Like
mouthfuls.
if it was good, you'd be like, I have some more, even if you're full. You know, like I know how people work, bro.
Yeah.
You're just lying to me. They're like, let's open another bottle of wine. I'm,
Oh fuck!
Spilled in the food. Oh, I've ruined it.
yeah.
Oh, do you have an icebreaker for us, James?
It's an icebreaker.
The one you had before was pretty good.
Nah.
That was rank. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, we can't say that. I hope we weren't rolling. He's just gonna stitch me up.
Just cut it in now.
Views, I'm suing the fuck out of you guys.
You get nothing.
There's not much to sue.
Bit of sound foam. 4 months.
Cook you a trash dinner. Give you salmonella. Mate, icebreakers. If you could live anywhere other than here in the world, where would you live? And why?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
I love the beaches over there. It looks so nice.
Yeah.
It always looks warm and friendly people and
Surfing.
waterfalls.
So you'd go somewhere exactly like where you
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just want to move somewhere that's got like dope beaches, heaps of surf, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight transfer, Blake.
I don't know. If I want to go like somewhere like completely different, like Japan would be cool. Like obviously that language barrier,
Yeah,
but
that'd
like
be cool.
Like I haven't traveled much, but I've traveled there a few times, and it's like my favorite place. Like it's so cool.
Language barrier in Japan's pretty easy because they're so welcoming to like help you to like understand. Like, you know, like if you go to like
Yeah.
like Basque country or like Italy, if you can't speak, they're just like, oh, whatever.
Italy's tough, eh?
Oh,
they're
bro,
they're
just
rude,
like,
as.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't understand you. And you're like, you just spoke English to me. In Tokyo, they're like, or anywhere in Japan,
They
they're
try
like,
and
come
help.
on, I can help. What do you need? What do you need?
The only thing was when we were there, like we got there the first night, we didn't have like cells or anything yet. And we jump in the taxi, and he was like the only bloke we'd met there yet that didn't speak a word of English.
It was
And
all
we're
good
like-
in the airport.
We're like
yeah.
ripping through our itinerary and stuff to try and find something, and like it just had in English the name of the hotel, and he's just like, eventually after 10 minutes of sitting in his cab, he like punched the number in, and he just started driving. Like, I don't know if we're going to the right place.
He's like, oh, I'll keep going. They might say.
Factory's dead.
Dude, I went to. Have you guys ever been in Nasiko?
No, only
Like
Hakwa.
up in the
Yeah.
north, out of Sapporo. I went there for a day. So like a morning of skiing. So last episode, last exam of my degree, Friday we got up there, like went and did the exam, everything. Flew through Tokyo, I think, got up there on the Friday night, checked my email, I failed an exam. Had to be back on Monday,
no.
right? And how stupid is this? I failed bookkeeping, and then when I did a Masters of Accounting, I got an 81 average. I was just like, I just think I was just like checked out. So
Yeah.
just like shit the bed. So then they were like, you got to be back to uni on Monday to sit us up exam because it was your last exam, so like you can sit us up thing. So skied Saturday morning, had to hire a car, and then drove like through the night,
Oh,
changed all
God.
my things, changed all my tickets, drove through the night back to Sapporo, got on like a 6 a.m. flight Sunday, had to fly back through Korea, got back to Brisbane at like 8 a.m. like Monday morning, drove straight to uni, said that to the teacher, and she was like, oh, like if I knew that was the case, you didn't have to come back.
Oh, just don't say that. You
And that was
just
the
don't
only
say
time
that.
I've been to Japan.
For one day.
Dude, I love
You
that.
just don't say that.
Our friend
Yeah.
had a very like a much less dramatic version of that. He failed an exam and had to go sit this up on the sad day of Splendor. So he decided to come down for the Friday and like got in his car that morning and drove up to sit it, then came back in the afternoon. I don't know how he did it.
That's not good. The worst part of that story was, dude, I went with my friend Hunter, and we had booked 3 weeks, and he just stayed there by himself. It was just me and him, no other friends. He was so off it. He didn't talk to me for like 6 months after that. He's like, "Are you kidding?" I was like, "Man, it's not my fault, man."
What do you want to do?
Yeah, cool. Well,
I don't know where mine would be. Japan would be cool. I don't know. I've never been to America, so like New York, that like vibe, city vibe. If it was going completely different to what here is, something really busy like that.
Yeah,
Just
something
go to the
America would be
valley.
cool.
Just go to the
Yeah,
valley
no.
in Brizzy if you want the New York vibe.
Yeah, bunch of spazzes.
Yeah.
America, because I love like the sport so much, would be like cool.
That I think that would be cool as well.
Would be, yeah.
It's completely
so much
different to,
sport.
like,
and
here.
like I love that American vibe where they're just like give everything a go. Yeah, to try it. Like let's
Yeah.
you know,
No
like,
tall poppy syndrome
yeah,
or anything.
Yeah, good on you, man. Like how good, you know.
Trying to find a
Yeah.
way to support you somehow.
Yeah, actually, that was. I just remembered my icebreaker. I was if you were gonna eat a cuisine for the rest of your life, what cuisine would it be?
Thai food, for sure. I
Thai.
fucking love Thai
Oh.
food.
Yeah, that's the Japan thing made me think about it because I think
Yeah.
mine would be Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese is like pretty versatile because you can have like curries, like
Very carby though.
Yeah. But you could just straight up go sashimi.
That's good.
You know,
That's true.
No.
What?
Nigiri,
I don't-
You could say
katsu.
Italian. That's pretty carby.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Probably Mexican.
Mexican.
Mexican's
it's
pretty
like,
good. I don't know.
Sort of versatile. Like you could just have like Mexican like seasoned steak and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
But Mexican's just a derivative of the same thing.
yeah,
You know, just like a protein.
It's just-
and a tortilla, pretty well.
cumin and paprika
Yeah.
on
Thai's pretty
repeat.
hectic.
Yeah.
I used to work at a Thai restaurant, so I used to have Thai probably 4 or 5 nights a week. And
Did it ruin your gut? Like,
No.
I guess if you don't.
it was
have
good.
too
It
much
was good
chili-
Thai. Like it was a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
So
I guess if you don't have too much chili, it wouldn't be too bad.
yeah.
green curry. I used to have green curry. I used to have a Thai night every Monday. I used to have green curry every Monday for like 2 years.
Yeah, it's sick. Just fried rice
Yeah.
every day.
Fried rice.
Yeah, Japanese would be good.
Yeah. Anyway, take us back to a young Jimmy Diamond. Can I call you Jimmy?
You can call me, mate. I got a whole bunch of different nicknames. The boys used to call me Jimmy D in uni.
Jimmy Dimmick.
Jeremy Fabulous was
See an actor or something?
Bobby. Nah, the boys used to call me Jeremy Fabulous because like I used to just kind of like run like hectic fashion stuff. Like I got the nickname because I rolled up to uni in like a Gucci shawl, like my mum's Gucci shawl. I was like, bro, I just wanted to run it. Friends of mine started calling me Jeremy Fabulous because of that. I've got Bobby D, Bobby Diamond, or Uncle Bobby Diamond. The reason behind that one can't be talked about on air. Yeah, heaps of different things. Jimbo, Jamesy. My dad calls me Jamesy still to this day. In like board meetings and like very intense meetings, like with like big corporates, will still just go Jamesy. I'm like,
It's easy.
hey, I'm already young, so like my credibility's like low, you know. Like everybody's like, these CEOs are just like, we're not going to take anything you say seriously.
Ah, shit.
Young James,
So where'd you grow up?
My elevator pitch, essentially.
Yeah, of your life.
Yeah.
All right. As we said, I was born 9 pound 10 ounces, 58 centimeters.
How long was the labour?
Bro, real quick, I was born at 10:07 a.m. in the morning on the 15th of August, 1993. I found that out because like, it's like you see those memes where it's like, Mum, what time of the day that I was born?
Yeah.
She's just like, stop seeing her.
Yeah.
You're chatting to a chick and she asked for your co-star, didn't she?
Yeah. Can I read your co-star? Can we link up on co-star? Like, oh, God.
Get in trouble here.
Mate, parents divorced before I was born. I'm one of 6 boys. Same dad, 3 mums. So 3 sets of 2. Me and my older brother was born here on Tweed. I was born in a town 2.5 hours north of Auckland in New Zealand. Mum and dad divorced before I was born. So dad lived in Hong Kong and then his parents lived here. So kind of back and forth all over the show growing up.
How was that, like, living in a totally different place? Like, how old were you when you were in Hong Kong?
Oh, from 0 to 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like back and forth. Mate, it's made like I've only ever lived in the same place. This is the longest I've ever lived in this exact same place because of COVID and the business. So yeah, moved around a lot, commitment issues, blah blah blah. Whatever. My shrink will probably tell you like everything.
We'll get on next week.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna run in now. You're not meant to be out. Come back. Yeah. I mean, it kind of gave a cool perspective because like the town where I'm from is like it's called Dargaville in New Zealand. It's like pretty well based on ag. There's an abattoir there, so there's not really like much business. There's not much money kind of thing. And then Hong Kong, it gave like a good perspective, like on how people live differently, and kind of taught me that there's assholes that are billionaires and there's assholes that are broke. Everyone's the same.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's defined by money, which is kind of nice because kind of taught me from a young age to give everybody the time of day. I think if we stayed in Hong Kong, I kind of would have probably got like more of a chip on my shoulder kind of thing, or not a chip on my shoulder, but like
You just get used to that.
A bit more entitled.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then then dad remarried, had 2 other kids, 2 boys, and then remarried again to an Indo girl when I was 11. So, we've been back and forth from Indo since then, which was cool. Dad kind of like semi-retired up there, so seen a lot and stuff. So, and then never finished high school.
Just not for you, or
I just got sick of being asked to leave so much. So I was like, oh, fine, I will leave. Came over here and did bridging course at Bond, but did Bond College when I was 17, into a law degree, into 90% of a commerce degree, into a Master's of Accounting. And then...
Was that always what you sort of wanted to do? Like, because your dad's in law, isn't he?
Yeah, dad was a barrister, had a criminal and tax practice. I originally got accepted I was going to try do med at Bond. And then dad was like, well, do you really want to spend 5 years at uni? And I ended up spending 5 years at uni. Anyway, I was like, of course, bro. Like, you know, now looking back, I'm like, if I could, I'd spend 10 years at uni.
Absolutely.
It's so much easier, you know? So yeah, the reason why I decided to go to law was like I didn't really know where I wanted to go in life. So I was like, okay, I'll just follow success, right? And Dad's been successful, so I was like, okay, I'll just do what you did, which I guess is kind of not really healthy. But you know, you eventually get to the point where you can start bringing in things that you actually like, passion projects and things like that. So, and I really, really, really enjoy different areas of law. I think the biggest thing that I don't like about law is Dad was a lawyer, so now I just feel like I've got pressure.
Yeah.
He had quite a good reputation, so then when I meet people that know
Are they
him,
like, oh, you're so-and-so son?
yeah, so they expect a lot of me, and I'm like, oh, you know,
Could be good though. I think it could go the other way though. Like if you didn't really have that, I guess some people or other people starting out, they're always like, oh, I wish I was in that shoe. It's like grass is always greener.
Yeah,
type of
I
thing,
mean,
but-
I think they refer to it as nepotism, right? So it can help, but it can. I mean, I always get shit by like riding on coattails and things like that. But like the way that I've always thought about it is if you're trying to get a lemon at the top of the tree and you have a ladder right here, why would you try to climb the tree?
Yeah.
You know, like you want just use your
Like
resources.
I guess like what do they want you to do? Just completely
Yeah.
do something different or just
Yeah.
like,
or turn around and be like, fuck Dad, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make, like, mate, I think that's,
Yeah, you use
Yeah.
what you can, regardless of what industry you're sort of in.
Yeah,
If you like
exactly.
know someone.
yeah, exactly. So I think it's almost rude, like, to not utilize the help that Dad gives me.
yeah.
Right? Because, like, that's the way that I see it. I'm sure other people probably see it a different way, but hey, that's life.
But you didn't
live
go
yours.
like straight into the family business, did you? Like you worked like at a few different like
Nah,
big
so-
firms in Australia.
Dad hasn't had a practicing certificate since like 1989. So Diamond Law I started. My uncle has Diamond Solicitors just here in Nobbies, but we're separate. Not we were together for a little bit, but yeah, I moved up to Singapore after I finished uni. Worked in like corporate advisory up there, doing like international tax structuring for like multinationals.
Is there like a big gap between like Australian like culture, like with law and like overseas, or like is that hard to adapt to?
Yeah, well, so that wasn't like a strictly legal job. It's
Yeah.
more like corporate governance advisory type stuff. Even more finance kind of. But yeah, there's it depends. Like you've got your civil countries that are all quite similar, like UK here, and then like the Commonwealth countries are all very similar. But yeah, like I lived in Mauritius too, moved down to Mauritius and worked in tax planning and stuff down there, and like there's no such thing as law pretty well. They're just like, what?
Beating a dead
They're
horse.
like, what? We're allowed doing this. I moved down to Mauritius after that. Moved to England for a little bit, floated around, lived in London for a little bit, kind of interviewed around, had like a gap year, travelled around for a bit, ended up at Deloitte in Melbourne. Hated Big Four, like big firm, like corporate structuring, like red tape, like being like,
Just-
why didn't you bill 4 hours today? And like you had like your two managers like be like, no, we've got to have coffees, you know, like we've got to have an hour coffee catch up. And then them being like, well, why haven't you billed? And I'm like, bro, I've been catching up with you fucks. Like, what do you want me to do? And yeah, just like, yeah, it wasn't for me.
Different style.
Yeah, it's just very, like, I hate to, like, it's a great profession and I don't want to rag on anybody that's in it, but it's just, like, for me, it's kind of just a race to show how shit everybody else is to prove how good you are, kind of thing. And I'm just like, it's just, like, toxic. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it's not ragging. All you have to do is, like, look at the AFR and see how many toxic partners leave those firms or, you know, get done, like you know, sexually assaulting, like, juniors and stuff like that. It happens heaps, right? So there's usually fire where there's smoke, right? So, ended up in Sydney with Quest Legal, which was like a boutique firm, and then
Was that more of kind of what you like doing now? That kind of gave you a bit of passion back into it?
yeah, the long-term goal was always to start up my own shop.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I go work for a good boutique with like the principal, Juan, was like absolute weapon of a bloke. And yeah, he was like really good to learn off and see what it takes to kind of run your own show. And then, yeah, did that for 18 months and then moved up to Queensland backed up to Queensland to open up their Queensland office. And then 2 weeks into that, my grandma died, and then my uncle in Nobbies was like, why don't you come work for free for me for a year, and then I'll give you the firm. Worked for free for him for a year. I was like, hey, what's going on? He was like, oh, I'm not going to retire for another 10 years. So I was like, guess it's perfect time to open up my own shop. So then, yeah, went down to Burleigh, and yeah, we've got a satellite office in Brizzy, satellite office in Auckland. I'm admitted, and I've got my practicing certificate in New Zealand too, so can...
So imagine like starting like a law firm's a bit different than like just us going getting an ABN and then going, this is going to be our business.
Yeah, so to be a legal practice director, you've got to have an unrestricted practicing certificate. To have an unrestricted practicing certificate, you've got to work on a restricted practicing certificate for 2 years. And then you have to go do a practice management course, which is like a 3-day course. And then a bunch of other compliance and stuff like that to get checked to do it. Just, yeah, red tape and stuff. So, yeah, it's hard, criminal checks and stuff.
So how long was like between you knowing like, oh, I'm going to start this up and like actually being able to start up like with doing that? Or were you kind of doing all that in the background because you knew you were going to
I've always, kind of like I've been monitoring my days pretty well. Like I did my practice management course the day after my 2 years run out. So I've always been like, yeah, okay, quick, like, you know. Yeah, that's actually thinking about it. You've got to go back and get signed off on who was supervising you that whole time, and me moving around a lot was a bit annoying, but I got my unrestricted practicing certificate June 13th last year, and then we had the lease signed to start 1st of July, but fit out and stuff. So
is that moved into something? So you just base it around stuff that you personally like to do? Is it that was the goal, or was it kind of cover everything and then you would just go off by yourself and specialize in what you really wanted to knuckle into?
My background being like international tax and kind of corporate structuring, it's not really that much work in Australia kind of thing. You know, like all of the work are in the tax beneficial jurisdictions. There is a little bit of work, especially with COVID, with like a lot of expats being back here. But I really like criminal stuff, and I like commercial, and we do property just because it's the Gold Coast and COVID's made a boom. So Maya handles all that side of stuff, and Brad's been helping with the criminal side of stuff. But I personally like the flow of the criminal work, the workflow of it, kind of like getting into the office early, getting prepared for court, driving to court, making appearances, having things, 1 o'clock, it makes it go a lot easier. Like yesterday I drove up to Woodford Correctional Facility in the back of Sunshine Coast, and like I got back to Brisbane at like 2 o'clock, and I was like, oh, it's not like sitting behind a desk.
Grinding away
out and doing stuff.
Yeah, getting out and about is what I like. What I like to do, and then the criminal stuff's interesting.
What's the most hectic case you've had? Criminal case?
I can't really like talk about it. I don't really like to get into it too much because I feel like the way that I approach like talking about clients matters is if you never want to test your ethics, right? So if you start getting into I can tell you this, but I can't tell you that, then a lot of the time 6 months later I'm just like, oh yeah, you see that dude that murdered that person on the news, I'm representing him kind of thing. And that I just hard and fast rule. But man, like you see everything, man. You see like it's literally like a reality TV show like every day. That's why I like crim stuff, because you're like, you did what? You're like, I told you to do this, and he's like, yeah, fuck.
You can get me off, right?
Dude,
you got me.
I'm like, you're already in prison, bro, so we're not really getting you off anything. Like, maybe reduce your sentence. So, it's interesting. It's a bit more. I guess, romantic than we're buying this property up the road for this kind of thing, you know. Which is I like property because it's usually 9 times out of 10 the biggest transaction that people are doing.
Yeah.
So it means a lot to them and it's exciting. So yeah, it's fun.
So you've been in like business for about a year now as Diamond Law, haven't you? Like
June 13th last year.
Is there anything like you wish you could
days.
tell yourself like when you started that like you kind of found out like along the way now?
I think the saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get, has developed itself over the last year. Like I think like at the start, obviously you get like kind of like down and like I was like in the dumps, like man, like I didn't win that contract or I didn't get that kind of thing, and like it would turn me away from business rather than be like, now I'm like, okay, let's push into it more. You know, like if I don't win a client or whatever, I'm like, okay, cool, let's double down. I wish I had the attitude that I have now back then, a little bit more like resilience, I guess.
And you just learn to brush things off and like you don't dwell on them, because like when we first started, we didn't get these people didn't get us to do the video for the property or something, so you get down like, oh fuck, why didn't they use us?
Yeah,
but then as you get older, you're just like, oh, you just okay, sweet, we'll just where's the next one?
You're like, cool, bye, catch ya.
And then on to probably what you're actually known for, the TikTok.
Oh yeah.
How much is it?
TikTok.
Do you put how much? how much?
Start shaking my booty. I'm like, cash out. Please.
How much? Do you put it on a bit or what? Or are you generally like using it to go for it?
How TikTok started was essentially like I was just seeing like friends have these crazy numbers, and I'm like, dude, like we got to get on this. We got to just like figure it out, right? I got on it and like posted like two videos of like my dog and stuff, like just trying to figure it out. And then I was like, oh, I'll delete it. And then Sam, who was my assistant at the time, she's now a lawyer with us, was like, dude, like we have to do something, like let's just get this going. So I was rushing back into the office to do a few things, and then I was rushing to play golf. I was like, look, we literally have 5 minutes, like let's just do this quickly, and just quickly wrote down a script that made no sense, no preparation. Hit it and then stuttered in it, and so kind of
I saw that. Yeah, I see that one. Everyone just sprays you.
Yeah, but it's got like 1 million views now, so like it was kind of like the perfect storm, right? And then Humans of Bankstown, shout out to Humans of Bankstown, they're great people behind that Instagram page. They shared it, and then literally like I played golf and then like went home, and because I don't have notifications on for anything on my phone, just was like, oh, I wonder how it's doing. Like went on and there was like 600,000 views. I was like, bro, what? I was like, dude, just so many people, but then like heaps of hate, but then heaps of people being like, look, we need this in Australia, because a friend of mine put it to me the other day. He was like, a little mistake can last a long time, and a lot of Australians don't know what they can do or not, you know?
Yeah.
And like, you know, like kind of teaching, like this is what can happen if you get caught with bags out, you know, like maximum sentence is 3 years, or, you know, like for possession, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of that little stuff that like a lot of, I don't know, maybe just from the Gold Coast, like those little things like that some people are pretty like scared to talk about. And that's like what you do a lot of e-com stuff, like real like this generational type stuff where people don't really talk about that, or they don't really, there's not that info out there of like talking about if I get caught in a toilet with my mate, like that one you put out.
It's
like people don't
like, oh, I'm just going to say like I'm sucking his dick, and I'm like, well, that's 4 other different charges. It's probably better just to get the possession charge, man.
It's stuff like that. But have you seen that's what works best, that real relatable type stuff?
Yeah, the relatable stuff and the things that like, you know, like you said, you don't really think about. You're like, oh God, like, you know, like keeping left unless like passing people. Like it's not a rule in Queensland, and I think it's like section 134 of the Traffic Control Act. Like you do have to, you know, and just like post like stuff like that. Like e-com, like the last video I posted, I was just thinking, I was like, well, yeah, like if you are, you know, selling like skin masks out of your house, it's a commercial business, right? If you're in a residential zone, it's a breach of the town planning rules, right? You know, so like people just like, you know, just like, I mean, what the likelihood of you getting fined or anything for that is probably quite low, but at least, you know, like being educated about it, you know, and like having that in your knowledge base. So yeah, shit like that. I've dropped off, starting to lose followers the last week. The algorithm's punishing me. Yeah, you got to, TikTok is just so, it's such a superficial social media thing. Like if you feed it, it'll feed you. You know, like you've got to just play the ball. Like if I do like fashion posts or anything, that like I won't get fed further exposure because I think the algorithms being like, we have exposed you because of legal tips. Do legal tips. That's true. Or you're going to get punished for it, kind of thing. So it's like,
do you think it's helped at all, like grow like the Instagram or like socials of Diamond Law? Like, has anything like funneled over across?
Yeah. We get a lot of leads off TikTok.
I've heard so many people talk about that. Hey, like even though it's not necessarily like TikTok's not a place you go for legal advice, but somehow people find it.
It's
that way.
100% criminal leads, like 100%. Oh, we've had like one or two like e-com leads, but it's all just like, hey dude, like I got into a fight at the park, can you help me, kind of thing. Like those type of leads, which is like fine, right? Which is great work, but yeah, no 65-year-old white developer is going to be like, hey, we should use this lawyer on TikTok for our development, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's just different markets.
I saw like you're doing other stuff, that Venue app. Is that your idea or are you just kind of working with like a team?
So George, Maurice and Gabe are involved with Venue. Maurice lives in Germany, Gabe lives in Canada, and George lives in Canberra. So Maurice and Gabe originally came up with the idea back in like 2017, and then like when we were at uni. Essentially because they got sick of like waiting in line in bars and like talking to girls and then going to go get drinks and then coming back like 45 minutes later. She's just like, bye dude, see ya. So that's how they came up with it. They're two really good friends of mine, and then we kind of put it on the back burner for a while.
I saw like it's been ages since anything's been posted.
Yeah, we're all trying
busy.
to do my thing. Everybody's trying to do their own thing, but actually very topical. George wrote back to me yesterday on some quotes to, we had a massive barrier of entry into clubs because we weren't integratable into their POS system, right? So you had to have like a whole venue system on another iPad. Bars were like, dude, too bad, so sad, like that's too hard, basket. We got some quotes back yesterday to have it completely integratable into POS systems. So we're going to base it off Counter. I think it's Kounta. So we can then remarket it and be like, look, it's easy.
Straight in, just
That's a pretty cool idea. Like for people listening, like what is it?
Now it's
like nothing at the moment.
It's adapted over the last couple of years. Now it is a high frequency, high transactional drinks ordering app. So now we're just going to have a pickup zone in a venue, and we're only going to have, say, vodka sodas, beers and wine, right? For people
quick stuff
in a bottleneck bar that don't want to have to wait behind somebody getting like 6 Shirley Temples or whatever. You know, they're like, dude, I just want fucking 2 pints of beer, man. Like, what the hell? So then you can order anywhere and go pick it up, kind of thing. So it's a little bit different to like the me and you stuff, because they're more of like a fully integrated like menu ordering system. We tried to do that. We just ran into heaps of problems with like back end chefs and stuff. Like, you know, like I don't honestly know how they do them, because like you go to like say the Collective and you're like, oh, I want one of those. I want 4 of those. I want 15 of those, kind of thing. You know, like a chef's like, right, fuck, how do I prepare for this, right? So, hopefully that gets some traction. I mean, it's everybody's got great ideas. It's how you execute them.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
That's about it, I reckon.
Cool.
Thanks for coming in, James.
Cheers, brother.
Good. How are you guys? So, what about you? Tell me something about you guys.
What do you want to know?
What's your favorite color?
Mine's changed. I'm probably brown.
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 Yeah, like. What? Yeah, weird. Like that.
Favorite
that
color.
Blue. Yeah.
You're telling me your favorite color is brown?
Yeah, look, my bedroom, that's all over it. So.
Yeah.
Vibey,
that.
earthy vibe.
Yeah.
Probably blue.
Yeah,
I don't really wear it, but
mine's
like
blue.
Yeah.
I like blue. Green's alright as well.
Yeah,
Don't know why.
Nice green, nice like cyan too.
Yeah,
like a nice like
off blue.
purple. Nice purple. Man,
Magenta.
gets underrated. Yeah.
Like lighter colours.
Yeah. I like a soft yellow too. Real soft yellow.
Yeah.
Makes me
Yeah.
feel nice.
Almost like a tan. Yeah, I don't mind tan. Tan's nice.
Yeah.
Tan's good, but like a
that
light
khaki
sort of tan.
light khaki.
Yeah, like this on that brown.
I'm full
Yeah,
into the pastels at the
Yeah.
moment. All that
Yeah.
like not that
Right.
thick color, but it's got that like little bit of haze to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
What's your favourite colour?
Don't know, man. Black. Black's my favorite color until they make a darker black.
It's a shade.
Yeah.
Darker
It's a
black.
shade. Yeah. Awesome.
right.
Thanks, boys.
That's
Too easy.